Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rick Godley alongside John Cole in a historic location, Gibsland, Louisiana, here to promote what's going to be coming up. It is the authentic Bonnie and Clyde Festival, Gibsland, Louisiana. Actually, it's the 30th authentic Bonnie and Clyde Festival. It will be Saturday, May 27th.
That is correct.
That's correct. John Cole, the chairman of the board. 30 years is a tribute to the testimony of a local community working together, and this year promises to be the biggest festival. And you're bringing in so many things. First of all, touch on the festival itself, and then we're going to talk about Friday night, and then we'll be talking about the reenactors.
Okay, great. Now, the festival itself starts at 8 o'clock on Saturday, May 27th. It's a typical Louisiana fun festival. We have food booths, we have vendors, we have live entertainment off the center stage, we have a cakewalk, which is good old-fashioned for a small town festival, and then we have some reenactment shootouts, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. And then we have this museum, which we're in, will be open for you to come in and look and see all the memorabilia about Bonnie and Clyde and the law enforcement and the ambush itself. And then we have another festival office right next door that has some other memorabilia in it, and we just invite you to come and see some of the part of history that made Gibsland what it is today.
You know, we talked with John earlier on the radio, and one of the things is not to glorify the gory-fied, but also to salute the tenacity of the law enforcement officials, because after all, these were cold-blooded killers. They were outlaws, and not to justify the style of the way they met their end, but also if they did not meet the end, who knows what could have happened.
That is true, and the focus of our festival is to create facts and kind of lay out, not legend. This happened 89 years ago, and as time goes by, it's kind of like that old kids game. I whisper something in your ear, and you turn around and whisper to the next person and go with Sephora down the line. When it gets down to the end, it's really not what was said. And our festival started in 1993, and our goal was to create an atmosphere where people could come and discuss and get the facts and not the lower part of it.
Mm-hmm. And to that point, Friday night, you have a meeting at 6 o'clock, and that's going to be next door?
Next door.
Next door. The Historical Association, tell us what that is, because you said in years past it's been going on, and you've actually had relatives of Bonnie and Clyde coming here to Gibsland, Louisiana in years past, but at the same time, you're going to have speakers and talking about the historical facts.
That's right. On Friday night, May the 26th, starting at 6 p.m. in the Lions Club building right next door to the Ambush Museum, we have the Lorraine Joyner Historical Meeting. And what that is a lot of people come in from all around Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and talk about things and research that they've done about Bonnie and Clyde and about the law enforcement. We do have scheduled this year Buddy Barrow, who is Clyde Barrow's nephew. He is a direct descendant. He is his nephew. He speaks from a family perspective. We also have Bonnie Parker's niece, Raylene Parker Linder. She also comes and talks about the perspective from the Parker family. And then we have Buddy Hendrickson, who is a great nephew, and he is a retired Methodist minister from Texas, and he has spent a lot of time researching his family's roots and his history, and he has great presentations. Last year he talked about the Barrow gas station that's out in Fort Worth, which was Clyde Barrow's family's business, and that building just got torn down about 3 months ago, and so he has a lot of family tree information and a lot of information about the family, not necessarily the crime aspect, but it is amazing some of the information that he's relayed over the last couple of years about a lot of the ties that the families had with a lot of the people in Texas and Louisiana.
Bonnie and Clyde, the authentic Bonnie and Clyde Festival will be in Gibsland, May 27th. We want to get this information out early, so if you would help us push the message more and make it that much more of a success, we would appreciate that. The festival itself, free?
Free.
But the evening before is $15 because you're going to get food.
That's correct.
Touch on all that, and then we'll go into Saturdays.
Yes. The historians meeting will be again at the Lions Club building next door to the Ambush Museum. It's $15 to get in, but that $15 gets you a meal. It's going to be jambalaya, salad, bread, cake, dessert, tea, and it's just really a good time. We've had visitors that have come to this meeting from Australia, from England, from France. It has always been amazing to me over the years that the Bonnie and Clyde story is not just United States. It is international. It is worldwide. Last year we had a guy who came here to do research that was writing a doctoral thesis, and he was going to the University of Canada in Ontario, and he came and spent about 3 weeks here talking and interviewing and going through the museum and going to different places in the area to find as much memorabilia and as much information as he could get, and he left here with most of the information he needed to write that thesis. And so it's really amazing when you come, you'll see, if you come to the historian meeting, you'll understand what we're talking about. People are just fascinated with this story, and it's not the fact that they're criminals and committed a lot of crime. They were murderers. Over in the festival office, we have a room that's a memorial room that lists the story behind every person that Clyde killed. And it's a really unique place. A lot of people go in there not thinking much about it, but when they come out, they're just in awe. They can't believe what really went on.
Well, you say that too, and it's like quoting statistics and not making the connection that these statistics are actual real people with real brothers, sisters, mothers, sisters, daughters, etc. Yeah, these are real human beings that ran into Bonnie and Clyde. So all we hear about is the outlaws. We don't hear about the victims at all. So that is worthy of, and that's what the whole festival is about too, is that when, and John's been helping me understand, when people cooperate to do the right thing for the right reasons, because you mentioned it's Bienville Parish, the state of Texas had to get permission to come over here, and who else am I forgetting?
The Dallas County.
The Dallas County. And so that cooperation is what worked to bring down the demise of Bonnie and Clyde. Now the festival, Public Enemies is I want to call them crisis actors.
Reenactors.
They're reenactors. They're crisis reenactors. There's going to be 5 shootouts.
That's correct.
Tell us what we're going to see.
What we do, and this has been a part of our festival from the very beginning, these reenactors come in and we have 5 shootouts, one at 10 a.m., and then another one at 1 o'clock, one at 2 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock, and then the last one at 4:30 is out at the actual ambush site, which is about 7 miles south of here, and it is a very authentic recreation of what happened. You'll have to come out to see it. It's very, very interesting to see, even to the fact that at the shootout occurs and the car rolls forward that 110 feet like it did in the actual ambush, and it's really a solemn thing. But then you walk away from there going, they got what they deserved, and that was awesome to be a part of a reenactment of history. Mm-hmm. And so I highly recommend that if you come to the festival, come a little later in the afternoon and put that on your agenda to go out there to see that, because it is really something to see. Each shootout is progressive and covers reenactment of actual shootouts that happened. One of the reenactments is right back here behind the festival office, where they reenact the Eastham prison breakout. And their group is in prison stripes, and Bonnie and Clyde come rolling up, and W.D. Jones, and they break them out, and they ride off into the sunset, and guns blazing. That is neat to see. That one is typically at 2 o'clock. So that's kind of it. These guys are authentic. They have authentic vehicles. They have authentic costumes, authentic guns. They actually are using real guns of the period, just with blanks.
Yeah, I think that needs to be stated as well, because you know as well as I, somebody's got to go on the scene. They don't realize that these are blanks, and like the folks pass the word, and law enforcement is involved in this, so everything's been checked, everything's been cleared. The authentic Bonnie and Clyde Festival, Gibsland, Louisiana. Touch on this, we're standing in front of one of the cars in the authentic, it's the Ambush Museum, There's three vehicles in here, and I'm looking at the V8 on the front of, was it a 1930?
It's a 1934 Ford V8. This is the actual model and make of the car that Bonnie and Clyde stole from a lady in Wichita, Kansas, and they were in it when they were shot. This museum has tons and tons of pictures, real pictures, not reenactments. These are real pictures from the archives. But this car is in the exact same car, and it is not the car, but it's the same model and make and color that the car that Bonnie and Clyde was in when they got shot. So that's interesting to see.
Oh, I was going to say, is this the car that, did they leave out of here and go to Ruston and kidnap the,
That was before.
That was, so they were down here in this area prior to
the ambush.
I got you.
Yeah, they came through Ruston, Louisiana, and the car they were in broke down, and they stole the car at a boarding house and kidnapped two people, one of which was Sophie Stone. And they carried him up to Emerson, Arkansas, and let him out. And one thing, the story, and this is verified facts, when they let them out, Clyde and Bonnie had maybe a moment of, I don't know what you call it, decency or whatever.
Yes.
Gave them $10 to catch a bus so they could get back to Ruston. But the car they were shot in was not the car that they had shot in.
As an addendum to the Ruston story, and again, I think I picked this up from Wesley Harris, is that Bonnie or Clyde didn't know whether or not they were going to kill him. And I think they were leaning toward killing him. They didn't. Clyde hit him on the head, the gentleman who was kidnapped from Ruston, and then he suffered the rest of his life.
Yep. It's a permanent damage. Sure did. Sure did.
Well, this is
there you go.
I mean, I don't know why we're smart. There's going to be arts, there's going to be crafts, there's going to be music, there's going to be reenactments on the authentic Bonnie and Clyde Festival, the 30th one, by the way. And are you getting up for the all prepared for the centennial? I mean, I know we have time on that one. It'll be 2034.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So
no, that's just in the future.
All right.
But it will be next year. We're planning on having a very big festival, even larger than the one we're anticipating today on the 90th anniversary. We seem to have over the years, when it hits on the every 5-year anniversary, we seem to have a renewed interest in it, and the festival really gets well attended. And so next year will be our 90th anniversary. 2024 will be the 90th anniversary.
He's John Cole. I'm Rick Godley. We're looking forward to seeing you in Gibsland, Louisiana, Friday night. No reservations needed,
No.
but I would get there early.
Yes.
Because you don't know. First come, first serve gets in for the historical meeting, and then Saturday, first bank robbery starts at what time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, the first. But does the festival open at 10? Or
It opens at 8. The Gibsland Lions Club has a fundraising pancake breakfast that they always start the festival off with. That's at 8 o'clock across the street at the Gibsland Grill. It's $5 for a plate of all-you-can-eat pancakes and sausage.
No truth to the rumor that you get shots there with breakfast. We're drinking. All right, John, thank you so much.
Great, this was good. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Y'all come out. Sure as shooting. We'll see you there.